Hello YouTube, it's your boy B3 back with another kicking, you guessed it, movie reaction review. We got more Dracula today, but B3, you ran out of Universal Dracula movies. Wrong, because I've never reviewed the Spanish version of the 1931 Dracula. Now, if you don't know why there is a Spanish version, that is because back in the day, dubbing was considered cheating. And they thought down at Universal and stuff, if you really wanted to make it into a foreign market, you should just simultaneously produce a film of the same language. They did it with some French films and stuff a couple times too. They made French versions, and etc. But it's the same sets from Dracula. It's the same script from Dracula, basically. But it's a Spanish cast and etc. Except not really a Spanish crew, because the director didn't speak a lick of Spanish. Kind of weird that you got a director that didn't speak Spanish, but he did a great job, so, you know. So, yeah, they were basically the night crew. They came in and filmed on the sets at night when the English production wasn't using them. And, many people actually consider this the better of the two versions of Dracula. And that makes sense because it's true. It's technically a better film. The shots are so much better. Like, the camera is so much more fluid than the English production. The English production has very static camera. Not all the time. It does move. But this camera moved a lot more. A lot more. The acting was also more emotional, I felt like. They got emotions across better. I never thought the acting in the original Dracula was stale, but this sure makes the English version feel stale. To be honest, the only person whose acting I didn't like was Dracula himself. I did not like Dracula. I'm sorry, Carlos, my boy, but Lugosi blew you out of the fucking water. I also preferred Dwight Fry as well, but Renfield's part in this movie was so much more. It's like the English production cut out all the good scenes with Renfield, and like they cut out a ton of Renfield's dialogue and everything, and it's in this film. This film also wasn't afraid to show things. You know how there's like opossums, like possums crawling around in the crypt in the original Dracula? Well, that's because Universal Studios was afraid to show rats. They thought, they were like, oh, rats are too dirty. This is a big production. It'll seem lowly if we have rats in the picture. But then on the boat scene in this movie, the Spanish production's like, yeah, just throw a bunch of rats everywhere. It's fine. They're crawling around while Renfield's talking to Dracula. And this film also, it shows a ton of things. Like, you remember that scene in the original Dracula where Renfield is crawling towards the woman who's passed out on the ground? And then it cuts away before we see what happens? We kind of see what happens in this one. And, they also actually bother with the second vampire in the movie, in this one. Because remember, Dracula turns a woman into a vampire. They call her the Woman in White in the newspapers. And she's terrorizing the city as well. But in the English version, they kind of just don't do anything about her. They're like, oh, we defeat Dracula, we break the curse. Okay. But in this movie, like, we don't see them kill her, but we see them coming back from killing her with heavy hearts, and they're like, oh man, that was rough. That was emotionally rough. And that was very interesting to see. Renfield's death is a bit more brutal. Like, in the English version, Dracula, like, throws him down some stairs, and in this one, Dracula has the stairs in front of him, and then he just throws him over the edge instead, and there's, like, a horrifying smack on the ground that sounds just terribly scary. But, yeah, the Spanish version is, in fact, better than the English in almost every way, except that Bela Lugosi is just the best Dracula. I think even the people who hail the Spanish version, like, I'm sucking the Spanish version's dick right now, I'll admit, but I still prefer the English version because Lugosi and Fry are in it. They make the movie for me. But this one is technically a better film. But yeah, just Lugosi is a god. He is my favorite actor of all time, and the White Fry is great as well. If only the English version would have been shot as well as this one. If only. And they're also afraid in the English version to show a lot of reactions and stuff, and they aren't afraid to show that at all in the Spanish version. I don't know why, because the English version was so afraid of, like, offending Christians and stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, it's just a better movie. I'm not going to talk about everything that happens in the picture in such detail because it's such a well-known story, and I've already done the English version. But yeah, it's great. Pretty much anywhere you buy the English version, the special features come. I have 2 copies of the English version of 1931 Dracula, and both copies came with the Spanish version. So it should be pretty easy to get. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. I don't know what movie I'm going to do next. I honestly don't. I'm thinking maybe Killers from Space or Flash Gordon Rocket Ship Phantom from Space is up on my list as well. We'll just have to see. So that's it. Thank you all once again. See you all next time.